Nkechi dropped the last bucket beside the kitchen door and straightened her aching back. Her palms were sore. Her legs trembled. Sweat clung to her face and neck. She had been on her feet since early morning. She cleaned the compound, washed Amara's clothes, scrubbed the toilets, cooked lunch, washed plates, mopped the living room twice because Amara said it was not clean enough. By the time she finally sat down, the wall clock read 2:17 p.m. Her stomach growled in protest, quietly, carefully, like someone who feared making noise in her own home. Nkechi scooped a small portion of food into a plate. No meat, no extra soup, just enough to stop the burning pain in her stomach. She sat on the edge of the chair, lowered her head, and took the first spoon. That was when the living room door opened. Heavy footsteps, slow, deliberate. Her heart skipped. She didn't need to look up. She already knew who it was, her stepdad. He stood there with his arms folded, eyes scanning her like a crime scene. Then he laughed, a loud, dry, mocking laugh that cut through the room. Ah, ah, ah. Are you eating again, Madam Devourer? Nkechi froze. Her spoon hung midair. He walked closer, circling her like a judge inspecting a guilty criminal. There is nothing you cannot eat in this house, he continued loudly. Morning, afternoon, night, your mouth is always working. Nkechi swallowed hard and lowered her spoon. He didn't stop. See yourself at 23 years old, he scoffed. No husband, no fiancé, no future. His voice grew louder with each word. Do you think you will live in my house forever, eh? From the staircase, a soft giggle floated down. Then another. Amara appeared. Perfectly dressed, hair neatly done, phone in hand. She leaned on the railings, chewing gum slowly, eyes shining with wicked enjoyment. Your mates are getting married every day, the stepdad continued. Every week, wedding invitation. But you? He snapped his fingers. No suitor has ever come for you. Amara burst into laughter, a sharp, mocking laugh. Daddy, leave her, Amara said between laughs. Who will marry her? Even Mira rejects her. She walked closer, pretending to examine Nkechi from head to toe. This one, Amara continued, always tired, always sweating, always smelling of soap and bleach. Men want soft girls, not housemaids. Nkechi's fingers tightened around her plate. Her knuckles turned white. Dad, she said softly, her voice shaking. It's past 2 p.m. I have not eaten anything since morning. I just finished the chores. She dared to look up. Her eyes were wet. I was only. Before she could finish, her stepdad burst into another round of laughter. A cruel one. You see her excuse? He said, clapping mockingly. You see why girls without husbands always finish chores late? Amara clapped too. Exactly, she added. No man to rush home to, so she enjoys scrubbing toilets. They laughed together. Father and daughter, united in cruelty. Nkechi felt something crack inside her. Her throat burned. Her chest tightened. She looked at her plate of food, the food she cooked with her own hands, after hours of labor. Slowly, she stood up. I'm sorry, she whispered. Amara rolled her eyes. Sorry won't bring husband. The stepdad leaned closer, lowering his voice, but making it more dangerous. Listen to me very well, he said. I did not marry your mother to carry lazy adults. Lazy, after all she did. You are a burden, he continued, eating my food and wasting space. That was when Nkechi's tears finally fell. Not loud, not dramatic, just silent tears dropping into her food. Amara noticed and laughed even harder. Daddy, she's crying again. At 23. She mimicked wiping tears. Maybe tears will marry her. That was when Nkechi gently placed the plate back on the table. Her appetite was gone. Her spirit was breaking. She walked slowly toward her room, shoulders slumped, heart heavy, humiliation clinging to her like dust. Behind her, the laughter continued. But inside Nkechi's heart, something else was growing. Pain and silence. 5 years earlier, life was different. Warm, hopeful, safe. Nkechi was 18 then, full of dreams, laughter, and certainty about tomorrow. Her father was alive, a powerful man, a billionaire, respected, feared in boardrooms, gentle at home. He never returned late without calling, never traveled without gifts, never spoke without reminding Nkechi she was his princess. Then one night, a phone call shattered everything. A car crash, highway, twisted metal, no survivor. By morning, the house that once echoed with laughter turned into a mourning ground. Angela, Nkechi's mother, never recovered. She stopped singing, stopped smiling, stopped living. She wore black even when others had moved on. She spoke to her husband's pictures at night. Sometimes, Nkechi would hear her crying softly, begging him to come back. That was when Uncle Timothy entered their lives. Timothy had worked in Nkechi's father's company for years, one of the managers. Quiet, helpful, always available. He started with checking up, then helping with documents, then staying longer, then eating dinner. He listened when Angela talked about loneliness. He comforted her when she broke down. He promised to protect what her husband left behind. Loneliness is dangerous. One thing led to another. Weeks later, Timothy moved in. Not alone. He came with a daughter, Amara, already grown, already sharp-tongued, already watching Nkechi like competition. Angela tried to smile through her pain. "This is your new daddy," she said softly one evening. "He promised to love you like his own." Timothy knelt in front of Nkechi that day. He smiled kindly, held her hands. "My daughter," he said, voice calm and convincing. "I will take care of you. You will never lack. You will still go to the best schools. I promise." Nkechi believed him. Why wouldn't she? He wore kindness like a well-ironed suit. The marriage registry happened quietly. No big wedding, no celebration, just signatures. And that was when the cracks started showing. One morning, Nkechi dressed for school. She'd been going from home since her father's death. Bag packed. She waited and waited. The driver never came. Her mother frowned and made a call. Timothy waved it off. "Oh, that school is too expensive now," he said casually. "We'll change her to another one." Days passed. Weeks passed. No new school. Next semester, he said. But the next never came. Nkechi stayed home. At first, she enjoyed it, thinking it was temporary. Then chores increased. Cooking, cleaning, washing. Amara never lifted a finger. "Let Nkechi do it," Timothy would say. "She's at home anyway." Her mother noticed, but she was too broken to fight. 3 years passed like a slow punishment. Then the final blow came. Angela was diagnosed with cancer. Hospital smells, chemotherapy, weak smiles. On her deathbed, Angela held Nkechi's hand tightly. "Be strong," she whispered. "Timothy promised me he would protect you." Nkechi nodded through tears. Angela died believing that promise. That was the day Nkechi truly became alone. She was 21. The funeral hadn't even ended when Timothy changed. His voice hardened. His eyes turned cold. "You're an adult now," he said one evening. "You should start behaving like one." Allowance stopped. Respect disappeared. Kind words vanished. Amara took over the house like a queen reclaiming her throne. "Don't sit there. Clean this again. You're eating too much." Timothy watched and laughed. The man who once knelt and promised love now called her a burden. The house that once felt like home became a prison. Nkechi would lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, remembering her father's voice. "You are the princess of this kingdom. This is your home." She didn't know then that promises can die faster than people. The kindness she remembered was real, but it was temporary, because once her mother was gone, the mask fell. And Nkechi finally understood. Promises are easy to make when someone is watching. 2 weeks after the food embarrassment, nothing changed. If anything, it got worse. Every day, the insults increased. Every night, the silence grew heavier. Nkechi learned to eat standing in the kitchen, to speak only when spoken to exist without taking space. But that night refused to stay quiet. It started with a broken plate, a simple mistake. The plate slipped from Nkechi's tired fingers and shattered on the floor. The sound echoed, and like a summoned storm, Timothy appeared. "What nonsense is this?" he thundered. Nkechi rushed to her knees. "I'm sorry, sir. I'll clean it." Before she could finish, Amara rushed in. "Daddy, look at what she did," she cried dramatically. "She's destroying the house little by little." Timothy's face darkened. "So now you've started wasting my property too?" "I didn't mean to." He didn't let her finish. "Shut up. The word exploded through the house. Neighbors paused, televisions were lowered, doors cracked open. Since when did I become responsible for your useless life? Timothy roared. At 23 years old, no husband, no school, no job, just eating and breaking plates. Nkechi's heart pounded. I'm sorry for causing you this so much pain. Please, Dad, can I look for work? She whispered. Amara laughed loudly. Work? She scoffed. Who will employ someone that can't even hold a plate? Timothy snapped. That's it. He walked straight to Nkechi's room, pulled out her small luggage bag, opened her wardrobe, 3 dresses, 2 old shoes, a sweater. He stuffed them angrily into the bag. Nkechi followed him, shaking. Please, where should I go? She begged. Timothy dragged the bag into the living room and flung it toward the door. You should have thought of that before wasting my life. The shouting grew louder. Neighbors gathered. Some whispered, some shook their heads, some watched in silence. Leave my house tonight, Timothy screamed. I will not feed an adult woman with no future. Nkechi dropped to her knees. Please, let me stay till morning. Amara folded her arms and smirked. Daddy, if she stays, she'll eat breakfast too. That was the final push. Timothy grabbed the door, pushed Nkechi outside, threw the bag after her. Bang! The door slammed shut. The lock clicked. Silence. Heavy. Crushing. Nkechi stood there, frozen. No knock came, no apology, no voice. She slowly picked up the bag and turned away. The street was dark. Streetlights flickered like tired eyes. She walked slowly, each step heavier than the last. Her stomach growled, her eyes burned. Flashbacks attacked her mind. Her school, her dream, her life. Her father cheering at her high school graduation. Her parents' laughter on the day of her university matriculation. Her dreams of becoming something. Doctor. Lawyer. Successful. Now, homeless. She reached a bus stop, sat down, looked around. Men slept on benches. Mosquitoes buzzed. Night air cut into her skin. She hugged herself. Maybe I can sleep here, she whispered. A car horn sounded. She flinched. Fear crept in. What if someone attacked her? What if it rained? What if morning never came? Tears rolled freely now. Not quiet tears, broken ones. Her phone buzzed, low battery, no contacts to call. She stood up again and walked, because standing still hurt too much. Her feet ached, her soul bled. She whispered into the night, Daddy, where are you? The road swallowed her words. After a long walk, night finally surrendered to exhaustion. Nkechi didn't know when her legs stopped moving. She only knew she couldn't walk anymore. At the edge of the motor park, beside broken buses that had not moved in years, she found one with no windows and a torn seat. An abandoned bus. She climbed in. The smell of rust, dust, and old oil filled her nose. She curled up on the seat, hugged her bag to her chest, and stared into the darkness. This was not how she imagined adulthood. This was not how her father promised life would be. Tears slid down silently. No strength left to cry loudly. Sleep came, not gentle, not comforting, but heavy, forced, and dreamless. At dawn, voices woke her. Footsteps, laughter, shouting. Nkechi rubbed her eyes and peeped through the broken window. People were moving, men, young boys, all heading in one direction. Curiosity pulled her up. She jumped down from the bus, adjusted her dress, and followed them, keeping a distance, afraid of being noticed. They stopped at a cold room. The door opened. Cold air escaped. Crates of drinks appeared. Mineral, bottled water, sachet water. Money exchanged hands quickly. 2 packs! 5 crates! Give me change! Nkechi watched closely. She understood immediately. Hawking. A young woman noticed her staring. Are you new? The woman asked. Nkechi nodded. I have no money, she said softly. The woman looked at her for a moment, then sighed. Take 1 pack. Sell and bring back the money. Nkechi's eyes widened. Thank you, she whispered. She carried the pack like treasure. The expressway was alive. Traffic stretched endlessly. Horns blared. Engines growled. Heat rose from the tarred road. Nkechi stepped forward. Her voice shook at first. Buy mineral. Buy cold water. No response. She swallowed. Louder this time. Buy chilled water. Mineral. A car stopped. A hand reached out. She exchanged water for money. Her heart jumped. It worked. Excitement rushed through her veins. She moved faster. Sweat soaked her dress. But she smiled. For the first time in days, she felt useful. She felt alive. 2 days passed. She learned quickly which cars to avoid, how to dodge reckless drivers, how to shout louder than horns. Buy mineral. Buy pure water. Then one black car slowed down. The glass rolled down. Water, a voice said. She rushed forward. Thank you, sir. She froze. The voice. Her heart stopped. She looked up. The man stared back, confused, shocked. Nkechi? Her hands trembled. She gasped. Chibuzor, he frowned deeply. What exactly happened to you? He asked slowly. Why are you here? The traffic noise faded. The world paused. The car was quiet, too quiet. Only the hum of the engine and the distant noise of traffic filled the space. Nkechi sat in the front passenger seat, hands folded tightly on her lap. Her dress was dusty. Her fingers were rough. Her eyes tired, swollen and red. Chibuzor kept stealing glances at her. The girl he once knew, the girl who laughed easily, argued fiercely, dreamed loudly. This version of her looked like life had beaten her repeatedly and walked away. He finally spoke. Start from the beginning, he said gently. Don't rush. I'm listening. She nodded, but her lips trembled. For a moment, no words came out. Then she inhaled deeply. My father died 5 years ago. Chibuzor's hands tightened on the steering wheel. What? He muttered. A car crash, she continued. Just like that. Her voice cracked. He was strong, healthy, always there, she said quietly. She stared at the road ahead, seeing memories instead of asphalt. When he died, the house went silent, she whispered. My mother, she didn't survive it emotionally. Chibuzor shook his head slowly. She cried every day, Nkechi went on. Sometimes she would forget to eat. Sometimes she would sit and stare at his picture for hours. Her fingers clenched. I left campus to stay with her. And she paused. That was when Uncle Timothy started coming around, she continued. One of the top officials in my father's company. Chibuzor frowned. Mr. Timothy? He asked. The manager? She nodded. The same one that worked in my father's company, she said. He started helping my mother. Documents, meetings, decisions. Her laugh was hollow. He comforted her, stayed late, spoke kindly. Chibuzor's jaw tightened. One thing led to another, Nkechi said softly. My mother was lonely, broken, afraid. She swallowed hard. They got married. Chibuzor slammed his palm lightly against the steering wheel. No, yes, she nodded again. He didn't come alone. She added bitterly. He came with his daughter, Amara. Chibuzor scoffed. I remember her, he said. That one that attended a school opposite our school. She never liked you. Nkechi's lips quivered. She never did, she paused. On the day he married my mother, he promised me, she said, tears filling her eyes. He knelt down and said he would treat me like his own child. Her voice dropped. I believed him. Chibuzor exhaled sharply through his nose. What happened next? He asked, though his voice already carried anger. My school stopped, Nkechi said. What do you mean stopped? He snapped. One morning, the driver didn't come, she explained. He said they would change me to another school. Chibuzor laughed in disbelief. And they didn't. No, she whispered. They never did. Silence filled the car. My mother was sick by then, Nkechi continued. Cancer. Chibuzor's eyes softened. She fought for 3 years, Nkechi said. And when she died, her voice broke completely. She left me with him. Tears spilled freely now. Chibuzor slowed the car and parked by the roadside. He turned fully to her. And after that? He asked quietly. That was when reality started, she sobbed. She wiped her face, but the tears kept coming. He took over my father's company, she said. Changed signatures, changed staff. Chibuzor's eyes darkened dangerously. He took over the house too, she added. My father's house. Her chest heaved. I became a maid, she cried. I cooked, I cleaned, I washed. Her shoulders shook. Amara ordered me around, insulted me. Chibuzor clenched his fists, and he allowed it? He encouraged it, she said. Her tears dropped onto her dress. When they were done with me, she whispered, he threw me out. Her body shook violently now, like rubbish. Chibuzor reached out and pulled her into his chest. She cried into his shirt. hard, broken, unrestrained. His jaw tightened as he stared ahead, eyes burning. "This will not end like this," he said slowly. "I promise you." Nkechi clung to him like a drowning child. For the first time in years, she wasn't alone. The car remained parked by the roadside long after Nkechi's tears slowed. Chibuzor did not rush her. He let her cry, because some pain needs space before healing can begin. When she finally lifted her face, eyes swollen and red, Chibuzor reached into the glove compartment and handed her a clean handkerchief. "Wipe your face," he said softly. She did. Then he took a deep breath. "Nkechi," he said calmly, "there is something you don't know." She looked at him. He straightened his shoulders. "I didn't just come back to Nigeria," he said. "I own half of what you see on this road." She blinked. "What?" "I'm Chibuzor Okafor," he continued, "chairman of Zorkon Holdings." Her mouth slowly opened. "That company," she whispered, "it's one of the biggest conglomerates in the country." He nodded. "I left Nigeria with nothing," he said. "I suffered. I worked illegally at first. I slept in cars. I washed dishes." She stared at him, stunned. "But I never forgot you," he added, "and I never forgot your father." Her breath caught. "My father?" she asked. "Yes," Chibuzor said firmly. "He was my mentor before I left. He gave me money when I told him I was leaving the country to hustle. Have you forgotten that your dad paid for my final exam in secondary school?" Nkechi's heart pounded. "I've been investigating his death for years." Her body stiffened. "What do you mean?" Chibuzor pressed a button on his phone. The car screen lit up. Documents, videos, audio recordings. "Uncle Timothy," he said coldly, "was not just a manager." Nkechi's blood ran cold. "He forged documents," Chibuzor continued. "Diverted funds. And when your father discovered it..." He paused. "Your father was silenced," Nkechi screamed. "No. The car crash was arranged," he said quietly. "And your mother?" He clenched his jaw. "They slowly poisoned her treatment, delayed care, altered reports." Nkechi collapsed into the seat. "Oh, God." Chibuzor immediately made a call. "Bring the lawyer," he said. "Now." The trial shook the nation. Uncle Timothy was arrested. Amara screamed, neighbors whispered, the media exploded, evidence poured out like floodwater. Bank transfers, fake signatures, medical tampering, witness confessions. The courtroom was silent when the verdict was read, guilty. Timothy fell to his knees. For the first time, he cried. "I was greedy," he sobbed. "I wanted everything." Nkechi watched from the back row, not smiling, not celebrating, just breathing. The judge continued. "Sentence, death." Amara screamed, "Daddy!" Timothy turned back one last time. His eyes met Nkechi's. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Regret had finally arrived. Too late. Restoration came like sunrise. All properties returned. The house, the company, the accounts, everything. Nkechi signed documents with trembling hands. Her father's legacy was finally back where it belonged. Chibuzor stood beside her the entire time. Then, one evening, by the roadside, he knelt down. "Nkechi," he said, voice steady, "I promised you in secondary school." Tears filled her eyes again. "I came back for you." "Marry me," she screamed. "Yes." The wedding was glorious, live on national television, a royal affair, diamonds, white roses, security everywhere. Amara watched from the prison visiting room TV, crying endlessly. Timothy watched from death row, regret consuming him. But Nkechi, she walked down the aisle glowing. Not because of money, but because God finished her story beautifully. And as life blossomed for Nkechi, the world learned one powerful truth. You cannot bury destiny. You cannot steal God's plan. And you can never destroy the child God has already chosen. Hello, my besties. Thank you so much for watching this story till the very end. If Nkechi's journey touched your heart, then this story was meant for you. Life may break you. People you trust may betray you. Family may turn into strangers. But remember this, God never abandons his own. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe. Drop your thoughts in the comment section and tell me which part broke you the most. Your support keeps this channel alive. Stay blessed, besties. Your own testimony is loading.